Hello lovely crafty friends, welcome to Love Builds of Crafts. I'm Sasha and today we're going to be looking at the new Spellbinders Stitch Joy Edge dies. I'll be showing a few ways that you can upgrade or just try something different with your stitching, just in case, we're into trying new things over here, so let's get started. Okay, so this is what the die looks like, and don't worry, yours will be nicely packaged. It won't be in a sample bag, and if it is, then who knows, maybe you've joined the influencers team as well. Okay, no, I'm kidding. So these are all the dies, and then there's this little guy, and he comes with another little flower die, but the boys have lost that, so it doesn't exist anymore. So the joy word goes inside there, and then let me just show you what it looks like when it's all done. This is what it looks like when it's all done, and today we're going to be seeing how we can make all these different patterns or variations of stitching. So we'll be starting off with some green flosser thread. The flosser thread that I use is not from Spellbinders because of shipping, but hopefully one day I'll get rich enough not to care about shipping. And then I'll be able to buy like a bunch load of this floss, but I use this one from Amazon and I will link it in the description. It comes as 6 strands as well, and for today we're going to be using mostly 3 strand and 6 strand. So here we're going to use 3 strand, and I'm just separating it. What I do is I pick out the 3 strands and then I hold them separately and I just unwind from the bottom. That's the easiest way for me to separate the strands. So once I've got my 2 different 3 strand threads, gosh, this is so hard to explain. Like, along the video there will definitely be a lot of waffling because it's something that's so difficult to explain for me. I'm not a professional embroiderer. Is that what they're even called? But anyway, I just like stitching, so I just thought I'd share with a few of my stitching lovers as well, just in case they want to try different patterns. So what you see me doing there is going from the bottom, like from the back of the die to the front, and I'm just going in a straight line, following those lines that have been made, the guidelines that have been made by the die. And when I get to the top, I'm just going to now start coming in from the sides, first from the middle, then to the side, and then back to the middle again, then to the other side. So we're going in the middle and then to the left and then back to the middle and then to the right. Or you can do it that way as well. Go to the middle, left, then go straight to the right and then come back to the middle. Either way, your middle is your finishing, is your starting and finishing point. So once you're done with that, you're just gonna go ahead and just do from the top hole to the bottom hole a couple of times. Oh my god, that sounds so wrong. From the top space to the bottom space. Okay, I think that sounds better. We're doing that just to really emphasize that middle veining of the leaf, and I think that adds a really different effect. And at the back here, I just grab all the threads that are hanging and I just go around and loop it a couple of times, and this will create a knot. I know I'm not explaining this well, but please just watch the video because some of these things are just hard to explain. So that is the larger leaf design. So for the smaller leaf, you're just going to go ahead and do what you normally do. Follow the spaces if you want, or you can do what I'm doing there in the video. If at any point you can't see what I'm doing, if it's too fast, you can always slow it down in this YouTube settings, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. That means you have to be following me. So if you're not, please follow me on Instagram. Send me a DM on Instagram and I will send you the real-time version, which will be much slower than this. So you can then see the part that you want to see clearer. So I'm just going ahead and going from the middle to the sides and then back to the middle again. And once that's done, now we're going to go ahead and flesh it out a bit more. You're just doing this by repeating what you did. Just for the bottom two lines, you're just going to go from side to side a couple of times, and this will make that floss thicker. You can just use thicker floss, but it doesn't look the same than if you do it this layering up way. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're now going to go from the bottom hole to the top left hole. So you don't go to the adjacent hole, you go to the one above that one. Okay, so this part I was really worried about explaining this because it's a bit hard to explain, but you can watch the video and see what I'm doing. You can see that I'm using my thumb as well to sort of like hold it over the parts, the spaces that are still open, just so that I can cover up that area. So you use your thumb to hold the floss over the area where you want the floss to go. Guys, like the English words are just not coming. The English is just not coming today. Seriously, it's so hard to speak a second language. But anyway, right? When you get to the top, you're just going to go from the top hole to the one below it a couple of times as well. Make sure you flash it out to match the others, and then just seal it at the back like we did before. And that is the complete leaf pattern design. So let's go ahead and add some flowers to it. Okay, so I've done one side of the flowers just to show you how the flower variations are going to look. I don't know if they're all flowers, but that's just how I took it, okay? So first off, the orange one, we're going to need 2 strands of our 6-strand thread, and then you're just going to follow the pattern as it's been made there, okay? And just go through the whole leaf or that part of the flower or whatever that is. I'm not sure if it's a leaf or a flower petal. And then once that's done, you're going to come back from the top and just double up everything. So what this does is it tidies it up, but it also adds like more depth to it. And you doing it from the top just makes the difference. And you'll see if you try doing it the other way. So now we're doing the yellow flower, the little bitty yellow flower that goes in the middle there. And for that, I'm just following the pattern with a 2-strand thread, and I'm going to do the same thing. Follow the pattern going from the bottom middle hole to the other spaces, and then coming back from the top from the spaces going back into the middle hole. So I hope that makes sense, right? But all you're doing is just doubling it up, but tidying it up also by changing the direction of your embroidering. So that's that all done, and you can see it looks quite pretty. Okay, so now we're going to do the little shrubs, and for this you need your whole 6-strand thread, so definitely feel free to change your needle and grab a bigger needle. So I'm going to do this slower so that you can see what I'm doing. So what you do is you come in from the back and then you pull your string from the back and from the front so that there is enough tension, and then you're just going to coil that around your needle and then hold the coils down so that you don't when you pull it through, you don't unravel all the coils, because you're going to put it back up into that hole. So now you're going to go into a side hole and bring it back up from the back and then put it back in the middle hole. And the way you're doing this, right, is only for that first middle hole. For all the other spaces, you're going to be putting it back into its same space. So what you do is you come up and then you make your coils, right, just like that, and then you put that through the same hole that you came up through, and then you put that back in, And what you're going to do is now come from the side. So you're no longer going through the back, you're just going to come from the side and to the top, and then just thread that through. And what that does is it creates a little knot on the side, but that knot is what holds together this part. This is not how normally like embroiderers do French roses. I think they're called French knots or French roses or something like that. I'm not a professional embroiderer. I just watched a couple of videos and I'm like, okay, let's try it. You know, what's the worst that could happen? And after I tried it, I was like, okay, I like it. So let me share it on YouTube. So this is my way of doing it on these patterned ones, because the pattern is already there. So you can't really do it the way that embroiderers do it since it's paper. So they don't normally do it this way. I'm just doing it this way because this is how it works. Whew, that was a lot of words, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just kept going on and on and on. But anyway, right, you just keep going around making these little coils and then putting them back in and stuff, and you'll create your shrub. Like, don't be afraid to use your needle to shape your shrub the way that you want it. So, or is it a bush or whatever you want to call it, right? So that's that one done. And then now we're going to do the final flower, which is the little rosettes or rosy things there. So with this one, it's really complicated, guys, and I'm going to try and explain it the best way that I can. If I don't, then you can like Google how embroiderers do their roses. But what you do is you go around your flower like how you normally would, just to create that base shape. And then now you're going to come in from underneath your, oh my gosh, it's so hard to explain, guys. You just need to watch the video, right? But you're going to come from underneath, and then once you pull that through, you're going to skip one and then go to the next one and go from bottom, from the underneath. I don't even know how to explain this. Like, I legit, I've gone through this so many times in my head, and each and every time I'm like, okay, that sounds ridiculous. Let's try and re-record that, but I'm not going to re-record it anymore, okay? Please just watch the video. I even like slowed it down. I did it in real time so that you could really see what I'm doing. So you're going to do about 2 rounds of just going around. So you tuck it under one of your strands. Oh, guys. Like, the words are just not coming. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I try and explain it, the words are just really not coming. I'm so sorry, right? But just watch the video and be kind to yourself, Dane. If you don't get it, because this one did take me 3 tries to like get it, because it was just not happening. Like, I kept messing it up. But on the 3rd try, and I was like, oh my god, yay, I cracked the formula. I Einsteined it, yay. And then when I did it, I was like so scared to try it again, but then I obviously did. So I thought, okay, let me just share it with you guys. So you're going to do about 2 rounds of normal 2-strand thread, right? Just going under one, skipping the next, go under the other one, and then you're going to go on to a 4-strand thread. So you're going to change your needles and go on to 4-strand thread. Then you're going from the 4-strand thread, you're going to go the same way, under one, but this time you're doing 2. So under one, skip 2, under one, skip 2, under one, skip 2, and you're going to keep doing that until you get to you do 2 rounds of that until you get to like skip 3. Then you're going under one, skip 3, under one, skip 3. Then you're going to go on to like under one, skip 4, under one, skip 4. That's the best way I can explain it. But once you're done, you're just going to put your needle through one of the side holes, and that will bring it to the back. Then you can seal it off and finish. So here I'm just adding my finishing touches. I'm using gems from Lucy's shop. I will link in the description the ones that I did use. And then I've already made my panel because I didn't want this part to take long because this video is already long. I just did a ink blending panel with bundled sage, and then I added foam tape to that panel, and then to my joy embroidered bit, and I stuck that down. The leaves that you see there, I cut them out of vellum, and those are actually from the Spellbinders, from another set in this Stitchmas thing, and I'll show that set in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to be back for the other set.